how you doing? This is John, and welcome to John's Long Box. I'm here with Adam Miller. How you doing, Adam?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good. I can't complain about anything.
Yeah.
So, me and you have talked before. What was it, last week on RJ on Comic Book Team Up, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I mentioned that. And phenomenal painter. You said you were inspired by Joe Jusko, right?
Yeah. Probably mostly him. A lot of different guys, but yeah, mostly Joe.
Well, I brought him up because he seems to be like the forgotten amazing talent. You know, back in the 70s when I was growing up, you couldn't turn around without seeing a painting by Joe Jusko. I remember Thor with the hammer, a lot of Hulk. He was the Alex Ross before Alex Ross, and then Alex Ross came around, and we don't remember.
That's probably what I bet that's what did it. Actually, I think Alex, because Joe would work in more than just comics too. So I wonder if, since Alex Ross is mostly comics and obviously does good work, I wonder if he just kind of became the new go-to painter.
Yeah,
I don't know, but yeah.
Is Joe still working? Is he still around? I hadn't even seen any new stuff by him in a while.
I don't see a whole lot, but I know he put out a cover for, I think it was for, I don't remember, Dynamite maybe, or one of the the indie publishers. He did a cover for something. I can't remember now, but it was this year. I don't think he works nearly as much as he used to, but he's still painting. He's still good.
Yeah, he did a lot of Dungeons and Dragons paintings, and he did a lot of sci-fi and fantasy novel covers. Just to, like I said, I'm glad you brought him up because he's a guy I don't think gets the credit that he deserves. Hello, Cam. How you doing? How you doing, Cam? Good to see you. It's my buddy Cam from Florida. Good to see he's watching. So let's talk about you. You got an active campaign going on right now, right?
I do.
Put the link in the private chat, and I'll throw it in the description. I have it in the description for anybody who wants to check it out, but I'll put it in the actual chat. But you're doing Iron Age Icons, a card set. Reminds me of back in the 90s when Topps and Fleers were putting out all the Marvel and DC characters.
That's the, there, I put it in the chat there. That's the inspiration, man. When I was a kid, those were my favorite cards to get. I was all about the cards when I was a kid in the 90s, and the Marvel Masterpieces were definitely my favorite. The Joe Jusko did a ton of them. The Hildebrandt brothers. Dan Lawless actually did quite a few of them. I still got a bunch of his cards too.
Yeah, Lawless is another. Me and him had a talk, and man, I could have talked to him all night long. He's such a fun guy. Look at my crazy hair. Jeez. Do you remember Overpower? It was a Marvel superhero card game, kind of like Magic the Gathering.
That had a lot of. Did you mention that on RJ show?
No, I just thought of it now.
Maybe that was him. Somebody I recently talked to on YouTube here. Somebody was talking. It might have been that they were talking about. Sounds cool. I don't remember it.
Yeah, I never played it. That came out during my super broke college years. When you're in college, you're eating top ramen and not really spending money on comics.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Yeah. So we would again last week. For those of you who missed it, Adam Miller does painting. He's doing a set of cards called the Iron Age Icons, where people submitted, there was a form, right? People submitted their characters, and then what? Did you vote, or did you just picked based on what you want? I totally missed this. I knew.
I know. You're not the only one. Yeah, you're not.
I thought it was prose work. I don't know why. I thought you were asking for short stories, and I was like, too easy.
Yeah, no, that probably because of the magazine.
That's exactly it. I thought it was a magazine.
Yeah. So yeah, I just kind of put it out there and just asked anybody who would be interested in letting me, put their characters in the card set so we could fill it up and make it a nice big card set for somebody. Relatively big. 40 is not huge, but it's a lot more than 10.
Well, it's also this is your first campaign, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. It's pretty ambitious.
Yeah. So I got
each card is fully painted by you.
Yeah, each card I had to paint each. Yeah, it's 40. Well, now 42 different paintings. So yeah, it took quite a bit of work. Since I was working kind of part-time on it up until about November probably, and then almost full-time since then. Just because it's a ton of work.
Yeah. So I distracted you from answering. So people submitted, and then what how did you pick them then? Was it
that was just me going through and just kind of trying to consider everything as far as like, we don't want too many of this one character, trying to keep a good balance. Obviously, I mean, there are some people who, if they want it in, they're just going to get in because I'm fans of them,
Yeah, fair enough.
And but there are also a lot of like, if you had a cool looking character and I hadn't read the book, there was a good chance of you getting in if it looks cool and then it looks like something I'd want to read. Because that's another thing I'm trying to do with the cards is get some more eyeballs on these characters, because that's what I learned a lot about different characters in the 90s just by looking at their cards. I'd be a fan of a character and I'd never read their comic, whenever I was 8 years old or whatever. That's
I remember in the 80s and 90s when these cards were coming out, like I was working in a comic store in the late 80s, early 90s, and kids were getting excited. They would take it and like they would like compare like characters that like a Marvel character and a DC character, and like, oh, Spider-Man could totally, and they would use the cards as like a almost like a role-playing game in their head, like a character.
Yeah. That was me. I was always seeing, okay, is like here's Captain America's this strong, so and looking, comparing. So Spider-Man, because I didn't know as a kid, I like they're both real strong, but which one's stronger? And of course, you disagreed with the card sometimes. You'd see like, I don't know, somebody's intelligence was a 3 when you thought it should be a 5 or something like that.
So you're not putting stats and numbers on the cards, though, right?
No, not on these cards. I've talked about it a few times. It's too much,
right?
To figure out and to have all 40 creators agree on where everybody falls, and
right. This is like 40 different companies, if you want to put it that way.
It is, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you can't put a Superman stats on in a Marvel. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense. Yeah.
It doesn't. It's not a clean translation. So
right.
Yeah.
Just think about putting Superman in Dungeons and Dragons stats. It's just
right. Yeah.
Or Green Lantern. How do you write Green Lantern down? These powers are godlike. So that must have been a challenge. So you're just doing. So what's on the back of the card? I've seen the front.
I can see if I can get one pulled up. It's kind of similar to like the 92, 94 Marvel Masterpieces, where it's like a zoomed in, more of a portrait of the character that's on the front, and it has like their their real name, their height, their weight, some of those stats, what their powers are, a little short bio of who they are, how they get their powers or whatever. I think that's it. Yeah. So cool. It's cool. The design, I'm happy with the design. It's kind of got a nice premium look,
So if you go to Fund My Comic, for those of you who don't know, Fund My Comic is a new platform. It started less than a year ago, I think, and it's going pretty strong. No shadow banning, no political bias. Just Luke, he just approves you based on the professionalism of your campaign. Boom, you're up there, and you got a campaign. So this is fun. The Iron Age icons. What exactly does the Iron Age mean? You picked this for your campaign, and
who knows anymore? I don't know.
Okay. I thought you were going to clarify for me.
I will tell you what. I mean, back when this started, which was last summer, I think everybody was kind of on the same page as far as like it's the whole indie movement of comics and movies and video games and just the alternative to the mainstream that's gone down the crapper. So it's the whole movement, and so something like Comicsgate is in the comic side of the Iron Age. It's kind of
Iron Age is encompassing more than just comics.
Yeah, that's my understanding. Yeah.
Okay. Because I was told that it's just like we have the Golden Age, the Silver Age, the Bronze Age, and now we have the Iron Age.
I actually 100% agree with what EVS has been saying as far as you can't name an era when you're in the middle of it, and I agree with that completely.
Michelangelo wasn't just like, I'm making a Renaissance painting right now. This is Baroque music for those of you.
Right. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. So, but as a
call himself classic rock, he said he was new age, and now he's classic rock. So I agree with you.
Yeah. So that makes sense. I hope nobody is really like standing on that hill, you know.
Well, it's kind of I find it all kind of silly,
Yeah. I needed a good name, and that was a cool sounding name, and it kind of had the alliteration like the Marvel masterpieces,
right.
the Iron Age icons. So that's really what that was, and things were a lot different when it started, and it was a week before launch. I was like, it's kind of too late to rebrand everything and all that, but I think it's settling down. I think people are starting, like, as a label, Iron Age makes sense.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't like labels anyways, but you gotta put something on the package. So
I'm not much of a joiner. I'm not much of a group person, and
yeah.
I feel like a lot of us, like, I'm amazed that you got 40 people to agree. Or 42 people, or how many other people,
because it's been pretty smooth. It's been pretty smooth, other than the obvious thing, but yeah.
Yeah, because I'm that kind of person. When somebody tells me something, I'm like, nope. Like, instantly, nope, that's not true, and then my wife gets mad at me, and then I look it up and I find out that I was wrong, whatever. But yeah. I don't know. I think it's having 7 brothers and sisters, and we always fight, about everything. We couldn't decide about dinner, and now I'm going to decide like a political group for all of us, who, whatever. But anyway, I'm rambling.
No, I agree. I think with the cards, it's really the intention was for it to be unifying for everybody, and just this cool thing for us all to go, and I think that kind of has everybody on board.
Absolutely. Because again, even as far as last week when we were on Comic Book Team Up with RJ, I was coming in thinking you were going to be talking about Anvil magazine.
Yeah.
Maybe you were doing a cover or like a spotlight on RJ's character Cardinal. So I was like, you can watch that video. I was like getting excited to the whole thing. I agree. This is an exciting thing, and it's a fun thing.
Yeah.
And if anything, it shows other larger comic book fans that there are a lot of cool different characters.
Yeah. And it's because it's, you can go get a huge encyclopedia for Marvel or DC or whatever and see all these cool characters. And nobody, even the really big guys in the independent space, they don't have a huge universe of all these characters that they can, sit and look at in the same product, I guess. So it's kind of a substitute for that. Obviously, I try to make sure everybody knows this isn't a crossover, and it's not there's no story to it. It's
not a comic book. It's not a book. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not, there's no story here. I don't own the right. It's all a license. But yeah, and it's the same agreement with every single creator that's involved, and it works out for everybody, I think. So I think that's another reason why everybody's getting along so well with it. Nobody's getting ripped off or anything like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's again, I'm repeating myself, but it's exciting, and it's like legitimizing all these like little guys. It's as much like I always described Comicsgate, Iron Age, independent comics, whatever you want to call it. I always say we were like a confederacy more than a union. We're or city states, but we need to band together in times of war or famine, So and I think this Iron Age is like, it solidifies this, like, we're all independent people, but we're all on the same side, if that makes sense.
We're in it together. Yeah.
How long does it take you to make if you want to put up image and share your screen or anything, be my guest.
Oh, good.
How long does it take you to do a card?
So a card, I've kind of gotten in the groove of being able to do them. Let me let's see here. This might take me a second. I'm gonna pull the campaign up because it has a bunch of images on it.
Sure. And it's funny because I backed right after last Wednesday, and then I checked it didn't go through. So guys, make sure. I think my computer's died, so I did it on my phone, and I backed yesterday.
Yeah, I think that's one of the hurdles with Fund My Comic. It's by far the best one to go with if you're a creator and you want to support independent comics, and they do games and cards and all kinds of stuff. As far as their the way they treat their creators, it's by far the best. It's a hurdle to have some, just have you have to create a new login, and that's going to be a hurdle for everybody. So you have to expect that sort of thing, but I recommend it.
Just today, I went to lunch with a couple of guys that I work with who are not comic book guys. They're not computer guys. They're old school construction workers, beer and a bologna sandwich kind of guy,
Right.
And, I was telling them about this, and they're just looking at me like I'm crazy, like I'm going to pay for your comic book, and then I got to wait, So there's no way I'm going to be able to go fund my comic /campaign/, So I'm going to make up cards for my comic, Heroic Age, and then give all the guys at work cards, with the link
that's a good idea
on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, that's another thing that's on the back of the card. There is a QR code that I'm putting on every single one. And that will actually take you to whatever the creator of that card, that character. It'll take you to their Twitter or their YouTube or whatever they want it to be to. It'll take you there. So yeah, that makes it a lot easier than just having to.
So this is your campaign, and this is active now.
This is active right now. Yep. This is a little. Yeah, you can see my mouse, right?
Yeah.
My pointer here. This is a very quickly thrown together little collage thing here, just kind of give you an idea. And this was before all of them were done, and we've got our fella here covering up the previous entry that we are withdrawing. Yeah, so these are the characters. Here's the front of a card.
That is awesome.
Yeah,
and you painted that.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm just stressing that. And you didn't have any formal training. You said you just a crazy kid that just started drawing one day.
Yeah, it's kind of the same. Like you'd ask artists most of the time, when did you learn? They're like, oh, I started when I was a kid, and I was one of the better kids in my school, and you keep that as a hobby. That's basically what I did. I didn't draw from throughout college. I didn't really draw. I maybe drew one or two little drawings a year. I was pretty much out of it, but I actually got hurt on my old job, and I did, you don't want to just sit around watching TV and playing games all day. So I was like, I should get back into drawing. And that was 2013, I think, whenever I started drawing again.
What really started for? It's not dental, it's something completely nothing to do with art.
What was I doing?
What did you go to school for?
My degree is in literature. So
yeah. Not too much drawing in literature. Yeah.
There's not a whole lot now.
See, I firmly believe that some people are just born with a gift, I can't draw, and I think if I spent 20 years, I would be decent, Like Jimi Hendrix was born with a gift, somebody could be a competent guitar player, but unless you're born with that gift, you'll never be Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah, I'm sure there is a level. I think it's different with each person. There's a certain amount of talent that they just have. I don't think it's talent necessarily. I think it's more of a mindset that lets things click a lot easier. Anything that I'm learning, I have a lot of hobbies. I draw, I write. I am actually a solo game developer. I can play, 10 different instruments, all these things. I think it's just something has to click for that for you to get to the next level. And I don't know if there's a way of, I think it's a mindset thing, really, that allows your mind to be open, to learn how to do it. And of course, a lot of hard work, but I don't know. I think everybody's on a different level there, but I think you can train it. I think you can get yourself to learn how to do skills. I don't know how, but I think you can.
If you figure out how to develop artistic skills from nothing, let me know. So
I'll write a book.
This is Pete Sametti's character.
Yeah, King Crypto. This
right now. So I guess if you would have flipped this over, you would have a QR code that would take you to how to get this comic.
Yeah, I've got. Let's see. So here's Death Raider, and so this is the front of the card, and this is the back of the card.
And I can see the QR code kind of covered up.
Yeah, it's peeking out right there.
And what do you do? Do you write the dress on the back, or do you ask the creators to do the dress?
They did all that. So in the form when they initially signed up, hey, what's up, Bill? They filled out the form, and I had all the. It's like a huge questionnaire.
Oh, okay.
All kinds of questions, even like who's their nemesis? You know, what team are they on? Just because I didn't know what we were going to put on the back of the card, so they filled all that out.
Oh, I got
some
you.
of them I have to edit some of them, but of course it'll all be cleared with the creator before it actually gets to print.
Now I love this. I'm just looking at the right here. This $50 plus shipping, a retail display box of 14. How cool is that? That these are going to be wrapped up. You know.
Here, I'll show you.
And are they going to be? Is there going to be like a rare chase card?
Yep. So there is going to be. Here's a pack.
That is so cool.
Yeah, it's in the foil, just like the old Marvel masterpieces. That will come in here. This is my favorite thing on the campaign. I like this.
Yeah, that is awesome. You know,
I would 14 cards in it.
I would order that. I would put that on my shelf and never, and just open it up on display and never open the packs. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. I'll definitely have one sitting on my shelf like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but so cool. There is a chase card. Every pack has a 1 in 10 chance of getting a sketch card. I've got a sketch card here if you want to see one. It's just I think it's going to end up being one of probably 4 or 5 of my characters. This is one of my characters here.
Oh.
So yeah, there's a 1 in 10 chance you'll be getting one of these in your pack, and that's drawn with ink and markers right onto the cards. So
cool.
Yeah,
so I'm checking out all. Yeah, last week I was looking at all the stuff for your background. Now that I made your camera big, I'm looking at all the cool stuff. There's no, right. That's I jokingly, I when I was talking with Matt Barr, we were saying every time we talk to people about comic books, my first question is, "Let me see your collection."
Yeah,
I don't have any doubts about your nerd cred. Looking at your room.
yeah, I've got a bunch of it here. I actually have 2 shelves that you can't see. Also, like the same ones that I have back here in front of me. There's a lot of figures on those, but a bunch of books too. So,
Shadowpunk, who by the way has an excellent comic. Everybody, Shadowpunk.
It looks great too.
It was unique. The fact that this guy isn't working for Marvel or DC or Dark Horse is just a crime against comic books. But anyway, he says people are crazy about cards. That is absolutely true. To the point, after talking with you last Wednesday, I went to Renzo and I said, we got to get cards as stretch goals in my campaign. So he inspired me. So we're working right now as we speak. Renzo is working on the art for 6 cards that we will unlock in my campaign.
Okay, that'll be cool.
So there you go.
Extra work.
Yes, the QR code is a brilliant idea.
I wanted it to be like all the creators involved. I wanted them to be glad that they signed up for this, because they didn't really know what they were getting into.
Right. You're making my character and you're making your campaign. What do I get out of it? Well, you get by people that are interested enough to buy this stuff.
Right.
I'm totally into all of this. I'm making a channel. I'm making my own, and there's still characters that I don't know, and I obviously don't. I missed out on this. I didn't know about it, or I thought the wrong thing. This is excellent. So now I can buy these. This is a cool character. You take a picture with my phone, and there I go. How do I get this? Where can I get in touch? This is excellent.
Yeah.
You're invested. Once you got that card in your hand, you're invested in these characters. I think it's a brilliant idea.
I mean, it's like I was saying earlier, like that is how I did it as a kid. Usually if I came across a character, it was through a card first.
What's funny is my little brother, he's not into comics, but he loved the cards, so whenever I was into the comics and I wasn't so much into the cards, and I would give him cards, they would come in bags or whatever. He would get it. It was funny though, because he would take all the cards and he would form the teams. I'm just like, Captain America's not on a team with Batman. That's Marvel and DC.
That's funny. Yeah, my older brother actually gave me the cards first because he was into the cards, but he wasn't into the comics, and he would trade with me. He got me into it, and then I got into the comics because of the cards.
The cards, we tend to forget now because I guess we're adults, but as a kid, comics were kind of expensive, and you could like my store, we would get like those display cases. We would open them up, and put the multiple cards for sale for like a dime, because the chase cards you put up on the wall for a couple of bucks or whatever. So the kids were always buying like, oh, we got Wolverine, we got Cyclops, we got Captain America, Spider-Man, but the chase cards they couldn't afford, but the kids always had access to cards.
Yeah, I just found this. This is from whatever year, 91 or so, an open deck. I just found this was at like like Marshalls or something. Those stores where they sell like old clothes for cheap, like name brand stuff or whatever. I think it was Marshall, whatever it was.
Was it
they had
Dusty?
No, it was sitting on a shelf. There was two. They only had two of them. I gave one to my friend, and I kept one of them. So
there's not gum in there, is there?
I don't think so. I don't think there ever was. Was it 91? This is from 91. Yeah. But this is what got me into it. This exact
that's the real
series
deal
right here.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Somewhere I have a box full of cards. I don't remember where I put that box full of cards. I gotta find it now. Now you get me interested in finding it.
Yeah.
Were you into sports cards, baseball? I collected Star Wars. I remember when that came.
I wasn't huge. No, I had baseball cards, but I wasn't into them like I was like the superheroes. I have no idea where my old cards are. The sports cards I still have, I think, all of my Marvel cards and stuff from when I was a kid.
I'm so old. I remember in the 70s when we were into baseball cards, we actually did the games where you'd throw them against the wall, they'd hit the wall and bounce, and the ones that landed close to the wall won. You know what I mean? And then
okay.
All of our cards were beat up. In the time, we had no idea about the collectability of this stuff.
Well, that's what makes something collectible. It can't be something that's made to be collectible, like for it to really be a collectible, because then it's just everybody has it.
Yeah, my older brother has a copy of The Death of Superman still in a cellophane bag. He has
really
it he's like,
it was the black bag, right?
Yeah. I was like, I'll give you 50 cents for it. They printed 2 million of those, and every one of them still in the bag.
Yeah, that's probably what it's worth, huh?
Yeah. So Shadowpunk says it's always awesome to have stats on the cards. You could, but like you said, this is 40 different universes, 40 different scales. Like I have a comic coming out, and I just submitted my character, the Patriarch, but I didn't tell his stories yet, so I don't want to reveal his power levels. You know what I mean? So, I think it would be tough. So how would you do that?
Yeah, too hard. If it was specifically that with what we're doing, you can put unknown. So we'll put unknown on stuff like that, or undisclosed on some of them.
Right.
Because we do have to do that. I can't remember. I don't think that one has it. But some of the cards will say unknown or whatever.
And
just
you haven't
depending
had
on
those, like somebody's like, well, Death Raider could beat I don't even know, Thunderfist. I'm just making up names. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and then the guy makes Thunderfist like, no. But then again, that's the kind of fun comic book arguments I do enjoy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Maybe next time we'll do that just to stir the pot.
Submit. Yes. Do you want to take this, or do you want me to answer this?
Yeah. So on my Twitter, we have an open slot that we are going to get filled. If you, what is my name? Adam Miller Draws on Twitter. I'll repost it like after the show just to make it fresh. But it's I've opened submissions for filling that slot. So we're gonna let the backers vote on all the submissions. I'm gonna let them vote to see whoever they want in, because that's kind of what this whole thing is all about,
Exciting.
Yeah. So I'm gonna let the backers vote on, and it's the same as like whenever I started this. Like I don't really want to choose another one, because there's a lot. I'm happy with most of these that have been submitted. I would be happy with it being in there. So, whoever gets chosen, it'll be a cool card.
So you're going to go back to 40, right? So,
yeah, it'll be 40, and go ahead.
How many people in general just submitted or how many characters were submitted? And you wheeled up to 40.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. There was 100. I want to say it was between 120 and like 140. There was a bunch there, and there was a bunch of people I'd never heard of either. And
yeah,
I don't know if they even had any idea who I was, but they were coming from all over.
What did you do? Did you vet them out? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I would check into the comic itself, just see if it's worth putting on there.
Like,
if
nightmare to go get this far along and then find out like Billy Joe Smith submitted Frankie's character. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I mean?
I think everybody that we ended up going with they are creators that I was pretty familiar with, if not, already talking to. That kind of keeps it a lot safer. Plus, it's a Comicsgate thing. And if I looked on your Twitter and you haven't mentioned Comicsgate a single time or retweeted whoever, or
it's a whole community after everything's said and done,
Right. And that's what this is for. So
Shadowpunk, Adam, a couple of days ago, he put up a tweet and it had like a form, and I submitted my character. That would be exciting. So that's all it is. It took 4 seconds to fill it out, and then what? You're gonna have the backers vote, and when is the deadline for this?
I don't know yet. I do want to make sure I give everybody who wanted a chance. I want to give them enough to get in, so probably I'll wait at least a week.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Just kind of to keep it out there, so everybody who wants in can get in.
And then in a week,
there's already
people like me, like, I didn't know about this.
I know, yeah, I know that, and that's. I mean, it's only as far as my Twitter reach is, really. So it's people aren't going to find out, but I'll do my best. Trying to get the word out.
Did you reach out to certain creators and ask, or was this everybody submitted? Like RJ from the Fourth Age, did you ask for his character, or did he submit?
I made sure that some of the guys that I usually I'm talking to anyways, I said, hey, I'm doing this, by the way, if you're interested. But most of them were, because it was kind of the same thing as what I'm doing right now. I just put it out there and say, send me a DM if you're interested. So
cool.
That's how we did that.
Yeah. Shadowpunk is all. So it's just to have the rights to print and sell the cards.
Yeah, that's in the contract. The I'll let you kind of know what we're doing. My rights as far as this goes is just to make the cards and the art book and like packaging and stuff to sell this campaign. Right. But the creators are going to get a free piece of art that they can do anything they want with, as long as they're not making a card themselves out of it, because that just kind of defeats the purpose of me making the cards. But they can use it as a cover if they want. I've got a lot of guys that are already going to use their pieces for covers and prints and shirts. I don't care, whatever they want to do with it. And I'm also going to I'll give them some copies of their card too. I don't know how many yet. It just kind of depends on how the campaign goes, what we can afford to ship out.
Yeah. You see, everybody that I've talked about this thinks it's a really cool idea. It's a unifying idea. It kind of like I said, it legitimizes these a bunch of us independent people sitting at home by ourselves, and then all of a sudden we're going to see our characters hanging out with all of these other cool characters that some of whom I've already been reading their comics for a while. You know what I mean? It's cool. So I think it's a great idea. So let's bring up your campaign again.
Okay.
So I see again. I'm talking about this box. Oh my God, do I love that?
Yeah.
And then you could get individual packs.
Yeah, so you can get individual packs. There's 8 cards in a pack. You get one for $6, and there is a 1 in 10 chance of a sketch card being in there. And I think I mentioned this. If you buy the box, you're getting 14 packs for the price of 8.
Okay.
And it comes with the box too. That's kind of just thrown in there. So it's a really good, if you want packs of cards, even if you don't care about displaying or anything like that, that's still a pretty good deal for doing that.
I know you called this a retail box. Like say I opened up a comic book store, is this perfectly fine to buy like 2 or 3 of these boxes and sell them at a comic book store?
I mean, it's fine with
personal collection.
It's more intended for a collector. I don't care if anybody wanted to do that. I don't know if there would be enough of a margin for them to do that, but
I
then there's
just don't know
no
the reality of it, like the contracts you sign. I'm
yeah.
curious.
It could, and there's no barcode or anything like that either. So it'd probably a lot of places have to have a barcode to sell it. So we're not doing that.
The complete set. Look at that. It comes
Yeah,
in
and here's this is the complete set box right here.
Here, I'll bring you big.
Okay. So yeah, this is, if you buy the complete set, it'll come in this fancy schmancy box right here. It's like,
you did all the design work on that too?
Yeah. Xevious on Twitter did the logo.
Okay.
But I did the actual like design on it. But yeah, it's a pretty nice box. It's kind of a fancier. Here's how the cards will sit in there. This is not one of the cards. This is just something I got from Andy Smith, who is in the campaign as core draft character. So the cards come out, and it's on the inside. It has all the characters' names.
Oh wow, yeah, that's great. Yeah.
And then there's a bunch of all the characters will be kind of on the walls in there. Yeah, he does great work. But yeah, it's a nice sturdy box, and it's called a deluxe box instead of just a regular 2-piece box. So the way it fits, it just looks really cool.
Yeah, it does look cool.
And storage is a big problem with like all these, you back all these campaigns and you get 2 or 3 cards here, 2 or 3, and then you don't know what to really do with them. Most people just throw them in a drawer or a box or something.
I have a short box filled with all cards, promos, bookmark. You know what I mean? I
do too.
I went through it the other day, and I forgot I had stickers.
Stuff I forgot about. Magnets, bookmarks, all that stuff. But this will all come in this box, and you don't have to worry about any of that. So you got it right there in the box.
That is so cool. And you got this hardcover art book.
Yeah, that was requested quite a bit. I'm glad to be able to make it, because I'd hate for all the art to be on this. That's the downside to a trading card, is that it's so small, you miss a lot of the details. So we're going to be making an art book. It's a hardcover.
Yesterday I had Lori Calcicut. I'm saying her name wrong, but she goes by Pale Path of the Pale Rider. That's her comic. She she's very creative, and she's making cards. But what struck me is in her campaign, she makes hot sauce. So you get a little plastic, like a little packet of hot sauce sampler.
Oh, really? That's funny.
How do you think of this stuff?
Yeah.
It's called Pale Horse or Pale Rider hot sauce. I love that
cool.
lateral thinking, and this.
Yeah.
But the art cover book,
for sure.
that is a no-brainer, and $35 for an art cover book.
And it's gonna be over like a big. It's 9 by 12, but we count for trim and stuff. It's 8.3 by 11.7, so it's a pretty good size book. And it'll be definitely, we'll put all the art in it. As far as like how much content will be in the book, it'll just kind of depend on how funding goes. Magnets on the fridge. I have my magnets on I have a steel. I've got like some arcade games up here, and I've got like these steel stools sitting in front of them, so all my magnets are on top of that.
There's my fridge right there.
Yeah.
And it started making noises. I'm like, oh no, this fridge is 10 years old. It's gonna die. I'm more afraid of losing all my stickers.
Yeah, it's crapping out. Yeah, you got to find something to do with them. Well, I'll get you some stools and just slap them all over there. I forgot what I was talking about. Yeah, magnets on fridge.
I do that to people.
That's right. Oh, the book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
so it'll
$35.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not exactly making off, super rich out of the campaign, because it's not really the point. And I just wanted to be able to make sure it all happened and it was good quality and exactly what everybody wants out of it. So I wanted to make sure if you back anything on this, you're getting a pretty good value. So I'm happy about that. And yeah, the art book we'll have all the art. I'm going to put in some amount of process stuff, like sketches and like my thought process and stuff. How much of that stuff I do will just depend on what funding looks like and how big I can make the book.
So
it'll be, I see his question. It'll be the single image of the characters. It'll be the same art that's on the card, but it'll be like a virgin style, no dress. There, probably not a name on it or anything. Probably just as plain art as I can make it.
Cool.
But like I said, I might put sketches in the sketch or in the art book. If there's enough, it's going to be at least 48 pages. And it's high quality. It's Smith sewn for the binding and all this stuff.
Nice.
So yeah, depends on how funding does. I can add pages. I would like to do process.
I'm just so excited that this like Comicsgate, Iron Age, this, you know, the level of quality is going up leaps and bounds, you know?
Yeah.
This is so cool. And then this is what I backed. If you scroll down a little bit, the $55, I'm a crazy person and I had to get everything.
This is what I would call like the featured tier if it was like on Indiegogo or something. You're getting it if you buy the book and the card set, you're getting it for cheaper than if you bought them separately. I think it'd be $60. I hope I did the math right on that, but you're saving some money. If you wanted them both anyways, you just get that and you'll get them for cheaper. And that's the only way to get the this card. It's going to be one of the special collector's cards. If you get the book and the full set, you'll get that card. You don't have to necessarily get this package to get it if you want to piece together your own deal. But this is the easiest way to get it, I guess. And it'll come with I'm going to make a digital art gallery that'll have all the art and stuff in it. So you can get that. But that's like I said, that's my featured tier. Was Cyberfrog the only? No, there was a handful of guys that that was like my goal. I would hope they would sign in, and I got a couple of them in there. Cyberfrog's not in it though.
He didn't come in.
That's the problem with the huge IPs is it's complicated.
Right. Yeah, and I no offense to anybody, but I could see Ethan getting approached every day with something, and he doesn't know it's legit. He doesn't know it's a scam. You know,
and he's been burned a lot by people who he does promote anyway.
I don't blame the big guys. You know what I mean? Not one bit. You know, and
right.
So I could these guys need to protect themselves. And again, they didn't know who you are, but I bet you know I'm predicting the second series. Now that they know that you're a decent guy, you know. They need the companies to start offering plastic sheets to hold different collectibles. So, as a board gamer, I do know that there's companies that do make oversized and undersized and all different size sleeves. So if anybody is interested, if somebody reminds me, I'll put a link in the description to one of these companies that just makes various size sleeves for you know, because I play with guys. We're playing our board games, and I'm sitting there eating Doritos and drinking soda and stuff. And they now sleeve every oversized, undersized card. So yeah, they make stuff like that if you need to protect your stuff.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I think if I do get to do another series, like this does say Hero Series 1 on all the packaging and stuff, because if there is a market for another series, I'd love to do it. But yeah, I'd probably, if I do a next one, I would probably have something kind of like a binder that has something to put in, especially.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Like a binder with that art on the cover, that collage of all the characters. That would look great.
Yeah.
King Creighton should show. I'm pretty sure Pete saw this already. Everybody had to agree.
So
there's no surprise.
Yeah, he's got it. I think he posted it a couple days ago. But yeah, that's everybody in here is signed up, and we have a contract. And
this is all on the
everybody.
Totally legit. Yeah, the art is masterful. People are really enjoying your art. Shadowpunk, do you play HeroClix, John? No, I do not play HeroClix because I'm a crazy person, and I would get every single HeroClix figure in the world. It's the only reason why I don't play Warhammer, and it's the only reason I don't play Magic the Gathering, because some of those cards go for thousands of dollars. So it's best, you know. I also won't try heroin, and I also won't start smoking because I'll never stop. I have an addictive personality. Comic book, board games, and everything else, you know.
But you know your limits.
HeroClix, if you got HeroClix Shadowpunk and you want to come over and play, I'll play. I bought 3 or 4 figures, and I saw the urge building up, and I gave them away. Yeah, Mayday Games has a wide range of card sleeves and sizes. Yes, true.
Mayday Games.
That's not the company I was thinking of, but yes, Mayday does make them. But there's a company that makes. I know Fantasy Flight Games makes their own cards because they make a variety of cards in their games. But it's going to drive me nuts until I look it up after we talk. And so you have 2 complete sets.
Yep. So this is another, like I said, I'm really trying to put a lot of value into anything that you get here. So if you wanted 2, if you wanted to leave one sealed, or if you want to give one as a gift or whatever it is, you can save 20% if you do buy 2 of them. So they're $25 each normally, but you can get 2 for 40.
Just to apologize, Adam. My jerk friend Paul is hijacking the chat, talking about White Castle. Where do you live, Adam? You don't have to. Just
Tulsa, Oklahoma. Yeah.
So you don't know White Castle. It is.
We don't have that.
I had it yesterday, and I want it again today.
That's what Brahms. Do you have Brahms? We have Brahms here. I love Brahms.
Do you have Crystal?
No.
Crystal is like the southern version of White Castle. Bronze. I never heard of it. I got to check.
Yeah, I think it's like in Oklahoma, Texas, and Kansas. I think Brahms is.
You have Lottaburger out there, right?
Are you joking? How do you know of Lottaburger?
I lived in New Mexico. I lived in Albuquerque for I think it's only in like Texas, New Mexico, and Oklahoma or Tennessee. Blake's.
I'm not joking. My father-in-law owns Lottaburger.
Really?
Yeah. His dad is started it.
His dad is Blake.
Huh?
Because doesn't it say Blake's Lottaburger or is that Lottaburger?
It might. He like in like the 70s or something. He sold a bunch of them to whoever. So maybe it was Blake. I don't know. But he like all the in the Tulsa and Bartlesville area here. Like there's I don't know how many restaurants he has now, but he's got a few of those.
Wow,
but that's funny that you know Lottaburger.
Yeah, I've been there. It's good.
Yeah, it's good. It's a really
so he has now we're talking about fast food. He has no interest in expanding over here to New York.
Probably not. That's not his job. He just kind of manages it, and then
it's funny because my friend Paul and he'll tell you we would go drinking in our 20s and then we would joke all of a sudden we teleported. We're like, we're at White Castle again? When did this happen? I ate 6 burgers already. When did this happen? And I'd close my eyes and wake up. But when I was moving to Albuquerque, I told the woman behind the counter at White Castle, like, I'm leaving. I won't be here because at the time it was for good. And she gave me a package of like T-shirts, stickers,
that's cool.
A White Castle booklet. And it's funny because it was at the time it was a location of every White Castle, so that up and down the East Coast, and then one in Malaysia, which I always thought was funny.
Oh, really? Malaysia, yeah, that's weird.
So it's kind of like a life goal is to. So if we back Heroic Tales, a stretch goal, $100,000, I will go to Malaysia and try the White Castle.
There you go. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So do you eat for free there at Lottaburger? I'm sorry, I hijacked this.
I do. Yeah. I can eat there for free. It's I don't eat there. It's funny. Whenever I met my wife, we'll talk about Lottaburger for a minute.
Okay.
When I met my wife, I was an MMA fighter. I was a pro fighter.
Wow.
And so my diet was very healthy. Especially, I love to stay away or around my fighting weight.
You look like you're too much in shape to be eating fast food.
Oh, not anymore now. No, I was back then. Well, anyway, one of our first dates, she took me to Lottaburger, and that was the first time I had a burger in I think like 4 years or something. I ate less than half of it, and I had to go to the bathroom and throw up. Oh man, I'm an onion, all kinds of layers.
Oh man, so you did MMA fighting. How long did you? Was it like Friends, where that guy went into the ring and 2 seconds later he was tossed out, or did you?
Oh no, I thought I was going to do that for a living. Back in the day, I was doing it. I did it through college. I started just kind of for fun, but ended up being all right at it. So, yeah.
Well,
I fought for Masters of the Cage and King of the Cage. I had 7 fights, 7-0. By the way,
is that how you got hurt and went back to art? You said you.
No, I was a police officer and I got hurt on the job.
Yeah.
So
Tough
yeah.
job.
Yeah.
And you're a movie star too. Now I got to hear about this.
Well, I wouldn't say I'm a movie star, but I do a little acting also. I've gotten a few small parts, like the latest Scorsese movie I had a small part in.
Really?
Yeah, because they're filming here in Oklahoma, the Killers of the Flower Moon. So I'm a deputy sheriff in that, and like help arrest what's his name, Robert De Niro's character.
Oh, really? Did you meet?
But I did.
Scorsese?
Yeah. Leonardo DiCaprio's in it. I talked to him a little bit, not a whole lot. But De Niro talked a whole bunch because we had a lot of the same scenes, and Scorsese's directing, telling you what to do and all that stuff. It's really cool. I wouldn't call myself, I'm probably, I don't know if I'm done. I actually, because of Twitter, I had a really cool gig. They're making a Hulk Hogan movie. And I had a pretty cool part on that. It was like more of a supporting role. And I got, because I was liking the Daily Wire tweets and stuff on Twitter, they found out and they canned me. So,
wow.
Yeah. Wow. So, lost my agent.
Hero didn't find out about that. and he got a little bit of. I met Robert De Niro in a bar in Soho in Manhattan. This sounds awfully pretentious, but I forget why. I think I was supposed to meet a friend, and I think I went to the wrong bar, or he bailed out. I forget what it was, but I ended up sitting there. This is before cell phones, so I'm just sitting there. Everybody's beautiful. Everybody's, and I came from work, so I stuck out like a sore thumb. And I'm just sitting there, and I'm like this because there's a beautiful girl over here, and I'm just talking to this beautiful girl, and you could tell she was polite, not interested in me coming from work. I'm a construction worker. And then I turn around, and there's Robert De Niro, and I just go, "Hey, how you doing?" And he looks at me, and I go, "How you doing? You're what I say? Yeah, you're Robert De Niro." And he goes, "Yeah, and you're not." I was like, "Yeah." And I like your movies, and he's like, "Thank you." And then I was just like, I got nothing else to say.
Yeah, that's about it. Yeah,
awkward conversation,
Yeah, that's funny.
And then he asked me, "Who do you know?" Like basically, you're in the wrong place or something like that. And I said, "Who do I know?" I said, "I know Robert De Niro," or something like that.
Yeah, he probably didn't think it was as funny.
Yeah,
that's good. Yeah,
so
he was pretty nice. Could I beat up?
But could you beat him up?
He was like a golden age UFC fighter.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not going to say I can't beat up anybody, but I would hate to fight Chuck Liddell. I'll put it that way. I wasn't a heavyweight champion or a light heavyweight champion like Chuck Liddell was.
So now Cam wants to know if you won a Nobel Prize yet.
I'm working on it. You think these cards maybe they'll put me up for a Nobel?
Paul said you should have asked them to make the movie shorter.
It was. That is a long movie. I went and watched it, and it was like, it's a good movie, but you have to be in the one of those moods to watch a long, slow movie.
Yeah. All right, Paul knows. So Paul, you're my hero. Okay, who's Linda Ferrantino?
I don't know who that is.
I don't know either. So now we got totally derailed by White Castle.
Yeah.
So I at 8:30 I'm having comic book team up with RJ and Mike Barron. So I just ramble on forever. So we'll focus.
Yeah.
We'll bring back up your campaign.
Okay.
You got sketch cards, so you could just buy sketch cards.
Yeah. So I'm putting 30 of them aside just in case someone really wants it, but they don't want to spend the $50 to get it. I don't think I said this. If you buy the retailer box, you're guaranteed to get at least one sketch card in there.
Okay.
Might get a couple, I don't know, but one will for sure be in there. But if you don't want to spend that money, and you do want one, I've got a few of those open where you can just buy one.
Each card is unique.
Yeah, they're all. I'm gonna probably do. I'm trying to remember what Bancroft did. Like, I think I'm not sure. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna draw basically 4 or 5 different characters. They're gonna be my characters because I don't want to deal with other creators. And is it okay if I do this? And here's another contract and all that. So it'll probably just be my characters. But don't worry, my book's gonna be awesome. So you're gonna love it a year from now when you're reading the book. but I'll probably do those characters, and it'll be basically the same drawing over and over, but it'll be an original piece.
So your hand with a pencil or pen on that card. Oh, cool.
Yeah, I'm using ink and markers and like a little white paint on them.
Cool.
So it will be not digital.
That's man. That is. I wish I could draw. And then you got an art commission, so people could get their characters done by a movie star and MMA fighter and fast food scenario.
Yeah, that's a heck of a title.
Oh, there you go.
So,
could you smear some Whataburger grease on cards for a stretch goal?
Man, yeah. I'll if you want a lot of burger grease smeared on your commission, just let me know and I'll do that. I'll do it for free.
Or a Whataburger, it's a 3-week-old Whataburger. Open up.
just throw it in the packaging.
How funny is that? That I'm talking to the guy, because nobody knows Whataburger, and here you are, you're related to the guy. What are the odds?
The heir to the Whataburger throne.
Yeah. So the art commission.
Yep.
How many of these are available? I couldn't imagine you'd take an infinite amount.
Yeah, it's infinite. I don't think that many people would want them. I'm hoping, or else I'll be pretty busy for a while. Yeah. So there's no cap on that. It has a few rules that are going along with it. It is going to be 11 by 17 on like a comic Bristol board, and it has to be a single character and not really much of a background, like how you can see on those. It's kind of in the spirit of these cards. Like there's not much of a background to most of them. It's very character centric. Of course, if you want something else, or if you want a normal painting like I do, I can still do a commission that way. It's just not through the campaign. That's just a specific thing. But the $275 is the cheapest I've ever done, and it's definitely the cheapest I'm ever gonna do. So if you do want a piece, and it's physical, it's an original piece, so
cool.
I would definitely jump on that if you are interested, because that's the cheapest it will ever be.
And you see this special collector's card number 1, Chokeslam. If you back this, he will come to your house and literally chokeslam you.
Yes.
So be
that's
careful
right.
And click on that by accident. Make sure you know what you're getting into.
And I won't tell you when I'm coming either. I'm just going to do it.
Oh, the little element of fear. Yeah. You're going out to your car and you're looking.
That's right. Yep. That's what that is. Yep.
I don't know.
Actually,
some people will probably be disappointed. Damn, I wasn't choked. So I'm thinking, whatever you do. Comics Gate is accepting of all.
Yeah. No judgment.
So Chokeslam, all kidding aside, this is your original character.
Yeah. So this is going to be in my book. If you don't already know about this card, it's probably too late for you to get it. This was everybody who has signed up on the mailing list will get that free when they back. It's a special collector's card. It's going to be. I'm looking at making them metal. The guy I'm working with I think he's got some issues that he's working on. I'm still going to try to do that. If not, it'll be special holographic, or it'll have a cool effect that the other cards won't have in the spirit of.
Now that I know that you did MMA fighting, this opens up like a whole nother dimension. All these fighting, and Armature is the second special collector's card, another of your original characters.
Yep, he's in Chokeslam's the same book, or at least you'll first be introduced to him there. And the way you get that is what I talked about earlier. You buy the full set and the book, you'll get that card for free, and it's the same idea with it. It's either going to be metal card or a special metallic look or something cool to it.
Cool.
Yeah, I think.
And here's a list of all the characters.
Yeah, here's all the characters. This is the slot we're going to fill right here. Which I talked about earlier. If you don't know, check my Twitter. If you have a character and a comic book that you want to submit to be in this set, look at my Twitter, and there's a form you can fill out there if you're interested. So these are all the characters. There's 40 plus the 2.
You got Pete Samedi. You got a character by Narwhal. You got big names. Oh Mark Polton, Eric Weathers' character.
Mandy's like I said, there's a lot of really good ones in here.
Yeah, I'm just reading one. Oh, Perfect 10. I just got my Perfect 10 comics today. Give Dave a shout out. I just got these today.
Nice.
Obviously didn't read them. I just opened it up 10 minutes before we went live. Oh, Smoke the Fox. Yeah. You got some good characters in there. Yeah.
Yeah. A little bit of everything. All kinds of a good variety.
Oh, you got Hojo's character, Nancy Moon, in there. Cool.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Chrome Dog. Yeah. I'm just looking at the names of people that I've had conversations with, the people that I know. Cool. Yeah. I'm excited about this. I think that I know this sounds cheesy to say, but I think this is important.
Right.
It's there's a word that it's like binding. It shows that we're a legitimate part of comic books.
Yeah. Yeah. Cliff, that's the idea.
What is your comic book universe called, or your comic book called, or
for me, the book is called Chokeslam. I don't really have a universe name picked out for it or anything yet. I'm taking it one book at a time. So
okay, and Chokeslam is the good guy, and what is Armature the bad guy?
They're both good guys. I'll put it that way.
Okay.
Yeah. Armature is more of a secondary character in the first book.
Okay.
So he's not a lead character.
This is I think this is exciting. Now, if this is successful, would you do this again? Would you do a second series?
Yeah, I'd love to. It's been a ton of fun. I love being able to draw. I think most people found out about me through fan art contests. So it's basically doing that, except with a more of a point than just
I'm so contest. Mad at myself that I missed. I found out about you while talking to you. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
I'm so mad.
It happens. I mean, like I said, you can only reach so far on Twitter. It's like the only place I am. So,
with all the drama and stuff, I kind of limit my focus. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, unfortunately, some good stuff didn't penetrate the force field.
I'm sure they're my favorite comic book out there. I will probably never even know about.
It's funny that you said that, because I was just talking to my wife, because just before you saw her hand me another Comicsgate packages showed up, and yesterday she's like, every day you're getting packages from comic books, and I said, this could be my new favorite comic, and she rolled her eyes laughing up the stairs.
Yeah, that's true.
And I've been pretty lucky. I'm not going to name names, but in the 3 years that I've been doing this, only one comic that I was just like, nah, I'm not getting the next issue.
There's some pretty good quality coming out right now. I was back in comics like in 2014, like when Kickstarter first started.
I wish I was looking over. I wish you could just see the art. It's awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Sorry to interrupt you. I just got excited.
No, you're good. The quality of crowdfunded comics has gotten a lot higher than it used to be. So
look at Bancroft. He has a comic called The Lucid coming out. I'm getting excited every time I see art from his comic being posted. I'm getting excited,
Yeah.
And then and then Nick X in the chat, he's doing the covers and I think 2 of the 3 chapters for Crom the Destroyer. This is Nick X. We're gonna be talking about him in 10, 15 years, probably because he went to jail for something vile. But that doesn't take away from his artwork. No, the guy's tremendous.
Right. I recognize his whatever the picture is there. I think I've seen his stuff.
Yeah. I think no. He didn't draw the cardinal that I forget who did the cardinal that RJ's doing, but Nick X, tremendous artist. So
I'll have to make sure he's who I think he is.
I got to prepare for a comic book team up with RJ and Mike Barron. That's same channel at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. So about 20 minutes from now. So anything you want to say? Anything that I didn't bring up? Because I'm a crazy person. I get distracted. I talk more about hamburgers.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. That's all right. It's a fun conversation. I like talking about the books, and I like conversation more than shilling,
right.
campaign.
That's one of the things, like I had a few people that I just realized it was an hour-long infomercial for their campaign, which I understand their hustle, but I kind of want to talk. So I enjoyed this when, as soon as I saw your face when I said Whataburger, I was like, okay, we're going off the rails.
Yeah, let's talk about it. That's funny. But yeah, no, I just thank everybody who has backed, and thank you for having me. And if you like what you see, I would really appreciate it. All the money I get, I'm gonna just make it as good as I can. So.
And how much longer? How many more days is the campaign going on for?
It was set for 60, so there's probably 57
Okay, so
or
you got time, but don't wait till the last minute. Don't do what I do.
Yeah.
About campaigns thinking they already backed.
That's what I do all the time. Like I'm like, oh yeah, there's that campaign still looking. They're doing good. I hope they're. And then I realize, oh, I haven't backed.
And then, whoop, and next thing you know, I'm paying 3 times the price on eBay. I've done that a few times.
No.
All right, but thanks a lot, everybody.
Yep.
This is cool. Again, I said it a million times, and I'm absolutely excited for this. You know, even if my character doesn't make it, I still think this is an exciting, fun, legitimizing thing. You know, even though we're doing it ourselves, it you know, if not us, who? You know, Mark Waid ain't going to do it. You know, Kelly Sue DeConnick ain't going to do it. Marvel and DC ain't going to do it. So
they're not going to do it.
You know, I don't know if you were around for the punk rockers, but the DIY do it yourself, you know, ethic. I think this is what we needed in this side of the comics. And I think we're doing it. We're stepping up. It's come a long way from like almost like fanzine quality 5 years ago to like, you're going to make a metallic card. You know, Ethan Van Sciver's got that chromium Cyberfrog book. It looks phenomenal. You know, I mean, and Laurie yesterday is making packets of hot sauce, and she's making. I know. I just.
The quality is awesome on these.
I know. I just knocked mine on the floor, and I had to run back to get here to hit live. Yeah, right on my head. You could see that's the Cyberfrog.
That's the
plastic figure that came with the comic.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
So again, I'm excited, and I could talk for another 30 minutes, and I shouldn't. I already got Mike Barron sending me links, so I got to.
Alrighty.
Put that up. But thanks a lot. Everybody.
That'll be a fun show. I'm gonna try to watch that. That'll be good. I like Mike. He's a good dude.
Yeah, he is. He's such an elder statesman of the comic book industry, and of course, that'd be a pockets of hot sauce. All right, bye-bye, everybody. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. See ya.